If you're watching this video right now, you done fucked up. You done fucked up because they don't like this type of information. You better think twice before you keep listening. Seriously, man, they don't want to hear this type of information. They target people that listen to this type of information, and they put surveillance stuff on your computers and stuff like that to people that listen to this type of information. So you better be very careful when you get that curiosity part of you activated, you know, that little cat in you, that little segment part of you, when you get that part activated in you, you better be very careful because of the fact that they don't want to hear this information come out, you know, through the megabytes and the terabytes and the megabits, as I always say. So if you're watching this video, you fucked up. Seriously, man. Nah, I'm not joking, but, you know, I'm being sarcastic, of course. But, nah, you ain't fuck up. But, I mean, at the end of the day, just know that when you deal with somebody like myself, I'm sure there's other people out there. I don't, you know, compare myself to other people. I really don't have a lot of time to get into watching a lot of other YouTubers because of my very hectic schedule. But when you're telling somebody like myself, like, I can't help but be real and say what's real, you know. And if I'm an actor, I'm acting like my original self. Again, I'll say this: if I'm an actor, I'm acting like my original self, which means that I know that the self or the version of the self that is walking around here in the Matrix isn't my real original self or my real original culture. So when I say if I'm acting, that means that I'm learning. In my acting, I'm practicing on how to live my culture of who I am as a person. And culture goes beyond, these days, culture goes beyond nationality. That's right, I said it. Culture these days goes beyond nationality because of the advent of the computer. And that's what I'm gonna get into today. That's a lot of shit. I know you guys ain't seen me in a minute. And it's a lot of shit that's been going on. Of course, behind the scenes. But it's like, when isn't something going on with Ram-Hotep? You know, it's always something going on with Ram-Hotep. So that's not really what I'm really going to focus on. Predominantly as far as like what's been going on with me. But I might drop some stuff, you know, a little bit of personal information here and there throughout this video to kind of help you understand the overall lesson of the video. Because the overall lesson of the video is not really about me. It's not about me because I realize I'm just a vessel. I'm just a tool that the collective consciousness or the all or El Kalum, if you want to call him that, I'm just a tool for the all. So it's not about me. However, things have happened to me, and I think that it's important, you know, that you guys know, because I mean, I've shared myself with you guys. Some of you guys grew up off, you know, like spent the last few years off of me, went through high school off of me and shit. Now you're going to college, and some of you done graduated college, and you might be looking at some of the videos like, oh, well, I can't believe I was listening to that crazy ass shit. You know, you might not really be in this consciousness anymore, but you might just be wondering like, what the hell, where's that guy been at? I'm curious. So this is like partially one of those type of videos, but not really one of those type of videos. So, but yeah, man, like they're going to target you because when you're listening to this type of information, because of this new consciousness and this new shift and this new, I guess, awakening that's happening on the planet. And believe it or not, they don't want you to know this, and they may get mad at me for saying it, but some of the main big elite families on this planet, when you talk about like the 13 bloodlines or the Illuminati or whatever the case may be, when you talk about that type of stuff, some of these main elites done lost control of their commodities, their family's wealth. They've lost control of their businesses and things of that nature. And they not just scared, they motherfucking pissed off. And I started tweeting about this because there's going to be a whole segment of information coming through me for the next however long it lasts for, until, you know, things get hectic and, you know, I'll shift and then come back at you guys. But that's how it goes. You know, people been saying I got ran off of YouTube, and they ran me off. These chicks ran me off and shit. Like, when did I leave? Just because you don't see me for a couple of months doesn't mean I left YouTube. When did I leave? You don't know. what I do behind the scenes with YouTube, and I wear many hats. I always remember that. I wear many hats, but there's some things, that's going to shift in my personal life, and I have been having some struggles. Definitely been having some struggles in personal life because of really this new shift and this new awareness and my karma that I've now picked up some new karma. And you can say it's negative or positive, however you want to look at it, but I've picked up some karma because of being one of the main teachers that came in 2012 talking about the shift and sharing a lot of sacred knowledge with you guys. Not secret, just sacred knowledge with you guys. And sacred knowledge is hard to contain, hard to control. So sometimes when you get sacred knowledge, it can cause you to, the person that's listening to it, and also to teach the teacher to shift into phases of life or experiences in life that most men and women walking around have never experienced. And you may think you're crazy or something like that, but it's not that. It's you're going through something that nobody has experienced because you've exposed yourself. You were open to sacred knowledge. And with that, everything has a price to it. Everything has karma associated with it. What? We thought we was going to get out for free? So that's what's been going on with me, like just trying to restructure and reshift some things. And I'll talk more about that, in other videos. But this focus of this video, is just this synthetic universe that they've created. The synthetic universe that they've created where what we would have called fake, when I say we, people that are in my generation, the indigo generation, I'm an 80s baby. For those of you that didn't know, I'm an 80s baby. So people in my generation, they, are kind of on the cusp or whatever, but we're kind of like going into this new fake universe. And what we, back in the day, we had this thing called keeping it real in our generation. And we was always taught, or always, they are the elders and the OGs and all that, people in the hood and stuff like that always say, you gotta keep it real, ain't no snitching and all of this type of stuff. Like that was the culture, that was the mindset that I grew up on. And then to see it shift, like we didn't believe in snitching and things like that. We didn't look up to people that, snitched and told on people and went to outsider foreigners to settle their affairs. Never go to a foreigner to settle your affairs. When I say foreigner, one who is not of your culture. Never go to one that is not of your culture. And your culture, again, it goes beyond your nationality. I'm getting back on that. And then I'm going to talk about the synthetic universe. I haven't forgotten. I'm just weaving this video. I have to weave it. I have to put information in and then go that way and go this way. I do this on purpose. This is how I teach for those of you that are new. So your culture, what it is that you have your nationality, and most people associate like, okay, your nationality may be Ghanaian, so your culture is to eat Ghanaian food and to dress like Ghanaians and things of that nature. But that's changing because of the fact that they brought out these computers. So they start messing with these extraterrestrials, and these extraterrestrials, they gave them the internet, and they taught them how to create the internet. Or actually, they crashed one of their planes down on the surface of the earth, and through studying back engineering, which they were taught by the extraterrestrials, the Europeans and NASA, the Asiatics, as well as the Moors and the melanated people of NASA in general, learned how to back engineer and learned about the internet a long time ago, and they finally put it out. But now the internet is more available and you're able to access it more. So this has created a synthetic universe, and the synthetic universe was created by a group of extraterrestrial beings called the Neutranoids. And the reason why I call them extraterrestrials is because they are not indigenous to this planet because of the computer parts that they have in them, but they do look very much human. A lot of the humans that you're seeing are neutranoids. They're neutranoids, and neutranoids created what's called this beta universe that I'm getting ready to go into, but it's a culture behind the whole neutranoid thing. The neutranoid thing is, of course, we've heard Dr. Malachi York reference it, so I know you're going to say, you stole it from him. I didn't steal anything. I could break down, what does that word even really mean? You don't even know. I'm not even going to talk about that on this video because it's not about neutranoids. This video is not about neutranoids, but I have to mention it. But a neutranoid is a being that's kind of like a mixture. The neutranoid comes from what's called the 13th bloodline, believe it or not. And the 13th bloodline, because you had the 12 tribes of Israel, which represent the 12 bloodlines. 12 is always the number when you deal with occult knowledge of rulership. The ruling families function up under the number 12. But really, in actuality, because of this shift, we're now activated to the number 13, and where people are getting information from the number 13. It's always been available, but now more people are able to access the number 13. And as you know, the number 13 is not an even number, it's an odd number. So it can't even really be divided up by anything if you think about it. It can't even be evenly divided up by anything unless it'll turn into a fraction, of course. But I'm saying as a whole, you can't even divide the number 13 up, but you can divide the number 12 up. And there's a reason for that. So these neutranoids, they've channeled this information in about the number 13. And a lot of these neutranoids, you're mistaking them for being like gays and homosexuals and stuff like that. Some of them may be, but I'm saying a lot of them, just because they're the males, I'm saying, and the females, the males of the neutranoid species are a bit more laid back. You know, a bit more, they're not the alpha male. That's why they had to create the beta universe, because they're not the alpha male. They're laid back. They kind of let the woman rule and do things and run things. So the woman, or the female of the neutranoid species, which is a group of extraterrestrial beings mixed in with humans again, and they were biologically created. The neutranoid species was biologically created by people in this society. When I say people in this society, what I mean by that is that humans created an extraterrestrial species by fusing computer technology into the human species so that you can control the lifespan, you can control how accelerated you can either accelerate the aging process as far as mentally and physically, or you can make it go backwards or do a reverse aging process as well when you start to study cloning and genetically engineered human beings. This is what they are. So some neutranoid beings can be 50 years old but have the mind of a 13-year-old. Or they could be 13 years old and have the mind of a 70-year-old. This is the neutranoid species. This is the dominant, again, it's the dominant species on this planet. I think it's the second richest man on this earth is a neutranoid. He's a starseed too. Because the neutranoids, a lot of them are starseeds. A whole lot of them are starseeds. However, I don't consider myself a neutranoid. However, I digressed and began to experiment with neutranoids and me bringing out this information about 13 signs astrology and all of that. And I'll get into that in a second too as well. It's a lot of information to cover, but we have time. But I didn't consider myself I don't consider myself a neutranoid at all. But again, when you give information, it causes you to shift. And when you receive information, it causes you to shift. So yeah, they got their own culture, man. And it's like a synthetic culture as far as these neutranoid beings. And it's dominating our universe. It's dominating our internet. I'm talking about to the point where they could take on many straw men. What I mean by straw man is, you watch my last video, many names. They don't just have one. And they can hijack them. I mean, when I say take them over, I'm saying you could be using your name and somebody else could be using it simultaneously with you. That type of shit. They're thieves. Like, for instance, I'll give you an example, some stuff that I've been going through in 13 Signs Astrology with it's some beef. I'm not going to lie, some beef with some niggas, in my hometown or whatnot. But at the end of the day, when I say niggas, they not all just my skin color either. Some of them are pale, or what you would call white, but white people are not white. They're pink or pale. And that's not racism. Some of them aren't. Some of them have a yellowish tint or olive tint too as well, but they're not white. But that's what I'm speaking of. A lot of these people that I'm speaking of that I'm battling with are white, but a lot of them are black, so-called black. But the so-called black people, you see what they're doing is that they're just working for the white man, whatever the white man tell them in the lodges. These guys, y'all up under control. Whatever they tell y'all to do in these call orders and these lodges, whatever you're in, the school of thought, you just do it and you don't listen to anything. And the CIA is feeding you a lot of your information in these lodges. The CIA that took over the lodges, and you've lost your sovereignty. Just keeping it real with you. The CIA is taking over a lot of the temples. Yeah, let's talk about the temples. You've lost your nationality because of this neutranoid species. They're fusing themselves. The neutranoid, what he does is, it's part of the 13th bloodline. And what they do is that they're fusing themselves into all aspects of society. But what you got to remember is, this is not something that I myself personally are not going to promote to battle and go to war against, because of the fact that I know the prophecy of the ancestors and the ancients, and this was prophesied to happen. So now I'm going back to myself again in this video. As you know, I said earlier that I was a part of contributing to this new Neutranoid society. You may be saying, well, you kind of explaining it like it's negative and it's wrong. You're saying you're not a Neutranoid, you're kind of double talking. But then you're saying, that you've contributed into it and all of this, or what? You done sold out or some shit? What I'm saying, I haven't sold anything. I haven't sold out. And that's what they're mad at me about is you don't see any ads on here. So I didn't sell out. This shit is real. So that's what they're mad about. And when I say that I contributed to it is because though I still didn't advertise and I kept my sovereignty in a lot of ways, because you guys gotta remember, I come from the old school consciousness. Like, we didn't get on computers. I didn't have a Facebook page in 2009. I was on the streets with hundreds of thousands of dollars, literally. Shout out to my man Jay. He know what I'm talking about. So I was on the streets making hundreds of thousands of dollars. I didn't have a Facebook page. I didn't have any of this. But when I, went through my thing and I had my awakening in 2012, I got a YouTube page and all, all the stuff that you see now, even though Facebook kicked me off, by the way, you guys. Whole nother story, but so I didn't have all of this stuff. And, this is all new to me. So as me promoting consciousness and sharing a lot of sacred knowledge, I'm now sharing karma with technology. So I'm actually, where I've been at lately is I'm studying technology. Hotep is becoming a hacker. I'm becoming the new Edward Snowden. No, I'm joking. I don't want to say that. They're going to be following me around. I don't know too much about it yet. I'm just studying a little bit of few hacks here and there of stuff, like good hacks. Like how to fix your computer or different stuff like that. Nothing, but I'm learning about technology. I didn't know about these things 5 years ago, 6 years ago, and I'm getting pretty good at it. I'm learning about the stock market. I'm studying stocks. I'm getting ready I'm working with some people, and we're going to form a hedge fund and stuff like that. So it's a lot of stuff that I'm working on the side, but I didn't know about these things, so I shared knowledge of sacred information with some people that were straight up niggas, man, like that negative Negro mentality, niggas with a Z. And man, they robbed your boy. Like, they tried to, but they weren't successful. Like for instance, when I made that video on Kanye West, like I was working on a project, I had an astral pyramid that I was working on building, as you guys know, but these cats come up in there and using the police and all of that again, and through a system of definitely extortion, kind of ran me out of there. So I'm not up in there anymore, as far as up in that. You know what I'm saying? But that's kind of like how it went down, man. Like, then on top of that, they took the videos that I did and tried to steal the royalties on them. I'm waiting on getting my money now, man. As far as getting it back from them. But that's the type of shit that I'm going through. Like, I haven't got paid for any of those videos. And you said, with royalties, you can't get paid off YouTube. See, I'm teaching classes on that. You can get paid off of YouTube. You don't just have to monetize. You'll have to holler at me personally about that. There's many people out there that are monetizing that aren't making as much money as you could if you owned yourself. Monetizing is similar to signing a record deal. What I'm doing is similar to if you went to Jay-Z, or not even Jay-Z, but if you go to somebody even bigger than that, like you go to, like, let's say Universal Records. You say, look, I got a record label and I want other artists up under me and I want to sign a partnership deal with you. That's how you come at YouTube. If you want to really be about your business and make money. But see, my thing is, like, when I got on YouTube, and I know I'm sharing a lot about me, but I feel like I owe this to you guys. Shout out to a lot of people out there that's helped me, because it's been a struggle these past few months, going to war and stuff like that with people. A lot of people that are Europeans, as well as Moors and black people, African Americans, have respect for all the any title that you call yourself, have helped me. Chinese, Mexican. I got a lot of people that supported me, and they know about the channel and stuff like that, and have supported me. So, I was lucky, because as you guys know, like, the site isn't up anymore. It's a site up that I don't have anything. I own that site now, actually, because I've been getting on my paperwork. So I've been getting on my game now. I own those guys over there, but I don't have anything to do with creatively what they do. I just want you to know that I don't have creative control. I do own those guys though over there, and they kind of like took over the site and doing some other stuff on it, and it actually turned into kind of a blessing, to be honest with you, because it freed me up, and I'm getting ready to do a lot for you guys, and I'm still kind of busy, but I'm not nearly as busy as I was, because I really appreciate YouTube as a whole. Definitely appreciate YouTube, even though one of my projects supersede YouTube, some of the stuff that I'm doing or whatever. But I appreciate YouTube, and I appreciate my subscribers and people like that have helped me or whatever. So I got a lot that I want to do and stuff like that for you guys in the future, but it's important right now that you kind of like understand what's been going on with me or whatever. So, by me contributing to all of that, I look at like all of this stuff, the losses that I took, because I mean, I took like thousands of dollars worth of losses in the past few months. I'm just letting you guys know, like I probably took over a $20,000 L in my mind. That's how much it was worth to me, what I lost. And maybe to you motherfuckers out there that stole the shit, to you, maybe it's not worth anything, but I'm sure you guys see the value in it. But I lost a lot, man. Like with that astral pyramid over there that I was telling you guys about, middle of the hood and shit like that. But some people of European descent are the ones that took it, just to let you guys know their nationality. They are of European descent, the people that are in there. But it was done, because of jealousy and things like that. But I was bartering. I was working on bartering with the city. And this was going on. I was bartering my royalties from YouTube in exchange for the land, and I mean that was agreed upon. In exchange for the land and the property, that was kind of like agreed upon through secret societies and things of that nature, of course. So like nobody ever really came to me like publicly and agreed upon it, but through secret signs and symbols. This is what I'm speaking on. You got to remember. People in like lodges and masons and these different orders and stuff, they have signs, hand signs, and they flash signs in court and stuff like that. When they throw up certain signs, if you're a part of that brotherhood, it's like a secret sign. You're supposed to go and help that person. If it's like a sign of distress or something like that, you're supposed to help that person. And I'm speaking on that level because you guys know my channel is called 13 Signs Astrology. So the agreements that I have with people are all based on signs. We don't speak. We don't talk in person. We communicate through signs. I know enough about symbology and what other people's schools and their schools and what their signs mean to be able to communicate with many people in different orders. So for all you out there thinking I got hatred for like Masons and stuff like that, I don't. I understand their symbology and why they move the way they do, and I think it's very genius, So I don't have no hate in my heart for no Masons and nothing like that. I don't have no type of hate for that. But anyway, just getting back to it, and just be patient with me because, you guys, and I'm going to get back to the lesson plan. I haven't forgotten anything that I said. But so anyway, getting back into it. So yeah, man, like they kind of took over the property or whatever and moved their stuff in and didn't ask me, didn't say shit, nothing like that. So I went ahead and turned a blind eye to it because of the fact that I knew for sure that they had backing of law enforcement, and law enforcement, I guess, was upset because of me being in there. So a lot of people are upset because I'm not only a Moorish American by nationality, but I consider myself what's called a transient. Some people call it a sovereign. There's many terms, an indigenous Moor, but I'm an indigenous Moor, so I don't function and navigate. My status is not the same. My persona, in all caps, is not the same as someone, that maybe has an identification card or things of that nature. Maybe it's functioning normally in the society. And not only that, but I'm somewhat popular in social media. So, people know about me. So I get harassed. I get gang stalked. I'm a target individual. I'm a T.I. Shout out to T.I. The rapper. Yeah, he know what targeted individual means. It's a whole nother story. Shout out to my man Tip. But yeah, so I'm a T.I., man. Still am. Still going through this shit. Ain't nothing changed or whatever. Marked man for death. Still going through that. Marked man for death. What I mean by that is that it's known the CIA, like, at some point, or whoever these groups or orders are, wants to have me bump the fuck off. And it's niggas that want me bump the fuck off. And it's, women that want me bump the fuck off. Women that I dealt with in my past or whatever, women that I'm dealing with even currently, and I have to fake and act like I don't know because what they don't realize is that I have very high intel. Very high intel, especially now because of the fact that I've been studying technology. So you may think that I don't know what the fuck you're doing. I'm speaking to people that I may be working with, but that's playing both sides and shit like that and going behind my back and stabbing me in the back, literally. Not even just playing both sides, really playing against me, actually. That's how I look at it. You're on their side. You know what I'm saying? I know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say how, but I know what you're doing. Even when you're in secret meetings, I know what you're talking about. And people that's listening to this that know who I'm talking about know who you are. So That's, I mean, ain't no threat or nothing like that. I know what you're doing or whatever, so I'm gonna handle it, and I'm gonna handle. See, I'm just the legal arm, man. I told you guys that last year. I mean, it's people, you know, like that's really serious about consciousness and that are very, some of you may deem radical. They ain't like me. You know, some of them on YouTube and stuff like that. Like, I'm not even gonna name their names because I ain't trying to put nobody in. No, I ain't no snitch in no way, shape, form, or fashion. But some of you guys know them, and those my homies, and shout out to them. But they a little bit different than me. You know, because some of them guys, they'll just, you know, come bump you off for stuff like that. Because the thing with me is, like, I'm an estate. So when you steal from me, you're not just stealing from me, you see? So you think you are. You're stealing from a group of people. I got, you know what I'm saying? I have not only a child, but I have a child's mother and other women and things like that, and family members and men and things like that to help and aid, you know, people that's homies that done got whacked and shit like that, and people that's locked up and stuff like that that benefit from these videos. So yeah, I take this shit real when I exchange and trying to get property to help my family bloodline out, and then you send motherfuckers to come steal from me and things of that nature. So yeah, that definitely makes me upset, and that's some of the stuff I've been going through or whatever. But this was all at the same time. Now let's go a little bit higher with it. That's my karma though, because of the fact that I contributed to things and put myself on the internet, and I didn't realize a lot of the laws that governed the internet at the time. I'm aware of them now. I didn't realize a lot of the laws and certain things that you speak on and certain things. Not even really just what I talked about. It's not really that. But it's more so what, you know, how I operated my business. I should have been a little bit more aware of certain things, you know, as far as how I operated my business. But I mean, I'm a one-man show. Like, I'm a Leo, so I'm real big on owning my show and owning my act. And that's just how I am. So, I mean, you got to definitely look at it from that perspective too. So, of course, I enjoy being on my own, and I mean, taking the fall. I failed before. You think I'm not gonna get back up? And that's to any female out there or male that's wishing me negativity and wishing death on me. I ain't never scared, and I'm gonna always get back up, and I'm gonna always stand up on my feet unless I'm just too weak to do that. But there's never gonna be a time where I'm gonna give up. Like, I mean, I have people like, literally, like, man, they fighting me so bad to stop this channel to the point where they like damn near. In groups, of course, and mind you, and in secret, damn near threatening me, like, you gonna go get a job, leave this YouTube shit alone, stop talking about this Starseed shit, and just go get a job type of thing. But it's like, nah, I gotta recoup on, you know, my investment, you know, before I can even think about moving on, because that's just, I'm a businessman, so it's like, I lost thousands of dollars this last year in my business. I lost thousands of dollars, so yeah, I have to recoup on that at the end of the day, no matter what. So I put myself into that, and of course I'm gonna get myself out. But so yeah, that's that. But as far as me personally, but they've created this beta universe, and in this beta universe, it's not the real. See, everything that you got in the real universe, they done kind of like took it and turned it into the beta, and kind of like cloned it into the beta universe. And the beta universe is controlled by these computers. Everything that you do in life now is controlled by a computer. And the beta neutranoid beings that created the beta universe are the ones that are in control of the unnatural universe, or the beta universe. And in the beta universe, it's blocking our manifestation powers because of the fact that it exists. Because in the alpha universe, it functions just like a computer. But in the alpha universe, you manifest with your mind. You don't need a physical device or something like that to keep with you. You don't need something physical to log in and to access this alpha universe. And when we function like that in this alpha universe, that's why we had more inventions back then. We had many more inventions as far as making life a lot easier in the real world back then than we do now. And that's because of the alpha universe. Very important. That's because of the alpha universe. So now everything has changed. We got this beta universe, or this synthetic universe. And in this synthetic universe, it's not about, you can put all the positive thought you want to put into trying to manifest something. And because of the fact that you're dealing in a synthetic world, there's going to be blockages and things that come up that block you from your manifestations. These cell phones, the towers the satellites that they operate off of, and all of that is really a blocking from you being able to access the universal reservoir or the universal mind. You're blocked. Like, literally, because you're putting your attention and your power, your energy, and your ability to manifest into a piece of technology. And what you don't know is that that piece of technology is alive, and you are feeding another group of beings, which is these Neutranoid beings that created this universe, and you're feeding them your ideas, you're giving them your information, you're giving them your energy. These are the new vampires, and they come off as being so unintimidating. I mean, so, like they just look so, unintimidating, and they wouldn't do anything to hurt anyone, and they're just the greatest people that ever walked the earth. These are the type of this is the beta universe. Everything has to be good, even when you're in a bad mood. In the beta universe, they teach this. They have a philosophy and a culture, and I'm going to get more into that in more videos. I'm just trying to let you guys know it's a universe out there that's beta, of course, and I'm gonna get more into that in other videos. But they drilling this synthetic thing into your mind, this synthetic culture, this synthetic reality into your mind or whatever, to where it's like you got to come out and be fake. It's okay to be fake. That's right. It's okay to be a mixture, like plastic. Plastic is fake. When I think about fake, I think about plastic. Plastic is not made in nature. I'm sure there's some form of natural version of it, I'm sure, but the plastic that we use is made from, it's made in some type of laboratory somewhere. They're mixing up oil. Plastic is oil based. It comes from the earth, but they're mixing up all these different chemicals and stuff like that to create plastic. So that's what I mean by beta, but they don't went into a different level with, like, your phone is plastic. It has plastic in it. You got to think about these things. And then these terabytes and these megabytes and these algorithms and stuff that they have on the computer now are very advanced. You guys don't know that. And they're collecting your data over time of you. Everything you feed into the phone or into the computer or into the browser or into the Google Chrome browser or the Safari browser, whatever you're using, don't matter. They have experiments and scientists that are collecting data constantly on you all the time, how you think when things happen to you, to the point where now you don't got to go to a psychic to get a reading. You could just go to them. You see? You could just go to them. You don't got to go to no psychic to get a reading. You could just turn around and go online, and they'll be able to figure out everything about you. They may not tell you, though. That's the difference. They may not tell you everything, just like a psychic may not tell you everything. But yeah, you don't even need the need for psychics and all that is gone now. So it's a whole synthetic universe. It's okay to snitch on people. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's okay to smile and act like you're happy when, really you feel like shit. That's fake, man. That ain't real. That ain't real at all. It's okay to go and smile in somebody's face and act like you their best friend when really you just trying to get some money out of them and shit like that. It's okay to do those things, right? You know what I'm saying? But it's not okay to be a real nigga. And that's why you go get in trouble, you know what I'm saying, for watching this video, for watching other videos like it, you know what I'm saying, made by myself or other people, because it's not okay to be a real nigga. See, that's the part that's not okay to these people. It's not okay to, you know what I'm saying, be a bad bitch. A bad bitch is similar to a real nigga. It's not okay to be that. It's not okay to be a chick, the type of chick that if your man get locked up or something like that, you gonna go ahead and stay with him and you gonna hold it down, you know what I'm saying? Like, you may do your thing or whatever, he may approve of you doing your thing, but at the end of the day, you're gonna be there every week when he need a visit or whatever, when it's time for him to get a visit, and you gonna, you know what I'm saying, make sure he got money on his books and shit like that, no matter what he did, because you love that man. That's real reality or whatever, but that's not cool anymore. And that's where I'm getting at. You see, that's not cool anymore. And now we live in this fake synthetic universe to where you really, as a woman and even as a man, for, the male philosophy is like, you really shouldn't even really commit to the opposite sex like that. You know what I'm saying? You really shouldn't even deal with the opposite sex like that. And that's going to create an imbalance in nature. Now, there's a time where maybe you should commit to the opposite sex, like to your youngsters out there, like teenagers and stuff like that. You don't want to commit to a female, you a teenager, talking about you gonna get married and stuff like that, because you don't even really know. There's more in life for you to experience. So in that case, yeah, I understand that. Or even when you're in your 20s, or say for instance you got a big, awesome career you want to partake in, you want to be a basketball player or athlete or engineer or architect, you may just not have time for the females, and getting in a relationship may block you from your dreams and things of that nature. So yeah, then in that particular scenario, yeah, you don't want to commit. But I'm speaking on, like, you saying, you telling this female you committed to her, you want to be with her, but then you going out and doing X, Y, and Z. That's not real. We live in such a real world now to where there are females that will accept you if you have more than one female in your life. But it's just the fact that you don't want to keep it real and express that. Like, hey, I got more than one female in my life or whatever. It's not just you type of thing. You know, there's more than one person that I share my life with. So you got to be, you have to like keep it real in that way. So that's what I'm basically like talking about when I say like we live in a fake world or whatever, because now it's not okay to be like that. It's not okay, you know what I'm saying, for a kid to kind of share, I guess, their real self with their parent. What do I mean by that? Like now, you know, as a kid, you got to fake it. If you're doing stuff as a kid or whatever that you shouldn't be doing, X, Y, Z, don't make like, you know, like make sure your parents don't know, or make sure that they don't find out about this or that or whatever. Whereas in my day and time, you know, growing up, I know for me, I don't know how it was with you. I know some of us had strict parents, but for the most part, I think my parents knew about everything that I was doing. For the most part, whether how deep and negative, not every single detail. Like I'm not saying that, but I'm saying like they knew if I was like maybe associated with a gang or something like that. Like, you know, my family knew about that. So for me, it wasn't really, you know, I didn't have to be fake like that. And a lot of my friends, their parents knew. So like that's what I'm saying. I just didn't grow up like that. The stuff that's going on right now is fake as fuck to me. Just keeping it real with you. Like I'm not the type of person to endorse a lot of this. You know what I'm saying? However, I'm going to go with it. Don't get me wrong, you know, I'm going to go with it because I'm the type of person, I'm a trendsetter and a person that studies culture and human nature. And I'm the type of person, I'm going to go with whatever the trend is or whatever and capitalize and benefit from it, because that's just part of being an entrepreneur. But that don't necessarily mean that that's me. And that's where I'm getting at. So a lot of, yeah, I shared my videos online and stuff like that. And I did partake in the synthetic universe in that way, and that's why I say that I'm partially responsible. However, I didn't do it with the intention of the world leading to where it's done gone today and right now. I didn't share my videos for that intention. So with that, since I know that I didn't share my videos with that intention, I have to come back and explain certain things to you or whatever, and I have to come back and make the movement more real. And that's what I'm going to be working on doing. That's why I said I'm going to be working a lot personally with a lot of people. I'm still doing consultations, definitely. I'm doing actually the new life coaching course and things of that nature. As far as me like doing natal readings, I don't do natal readings anymore because of what happened with the software and the war that I had with the people that created the software. You know, like just all kind of shit. And the software was hijacked by third parties and the FBI and people like that or whatever. Other people that was working for the FBI, rogues for the FBI. That may not have been necessarily endorsed by the FBI, but software was hijacked by them. You see? So everything I had to start all over because I didn't have any knowledge of technical information. That's what I'm trying to explain to you guys. Like I was totally ignorant to a lot of things actually before I got on YouTube or whatever. That's why I always looked at myself as a student. I'm always learning. But I do know how to research things and go to the source. That's one thing I do know. And I do know that there is a group of extraterrestrial beings called the Neutranoids that have created a beta universe. I'm not making this up. Any scientist or any doctor or any, I guess, genius type of person that does a lot of research, if you ask them, do they believe in extraterrestrials, even Einstein, he would have said yeah. Because of the fact that if you're smart and you getting into inventing things, see, inventors, you have to, when you invent something, or even back engineer something that turns into a big old world phenomenon like the internet, it has to be an alien influence with that because you're doing something that has not been seen, heard, felt, or touched, and you're bringing this into the five senses reality. That's what an inventor is, an inventor. That's what an invention is. So the people that invented the internet, you know, those beings that invented the internet were definitely in tune with extraterrestrial beings. Why do you guys have a hard time with struggling with the fact that when I talk about extraterrestrials versus aliens, I got to do another video on that because aliens and extraterrestrials are different as far as terminology when you understand law. But they have, you guys got to remember, they have laws and codes on the books for unidentified flying objects. I don't know if you guys realize that. They have in the military, they have military code in the Navy that goes into how to deal with unidentified flying objects if they see one. What that means is that unidentified flying objects, that's an extraterrestrial. That's an influence that's outside of your sphere reservoir that's influencing your reality. So it's deep, man. There's a lot going on in this beta universe. I'm talking about it's affecting our economics. It's affecting how we deal with money. It's affecting the stock market. It's making things a lot more unpredictable because now you can get on your computer and log into your Facebook account, and that might make the stock market go up 20, 40, 50 fucking points or something like that. So yeah.